That Latino woman or that Black American woman, when she's going to hold your husband's banana and put it in her buccal cavity, the way she's going to suction and vacuum it, and they are going to forget all the promises they made to you. Today, I will be touching on why a lot of marriages fail as soon as they relocate from Africa to Canada or abroad in general. You know, I've had a lot of people say, oh no, as soon as we go to America, as soon as we go to Canada, or as soon as we go to Europe, my wife just changed, my husband just changed. It's because they're making money. And me, when I listen to people like that speak, I'm just like, bullshit. You should see the reason why it happened. Because it's very easy to always look for something to blame. You see some couples that have been in Africa, that have been married for a whole 15 years, for a whole 10 years, for a whole 20 years. But as soon as they come here, 2-3 years after, divorced, separation, and they'll be telling you how, no, it's because they're making money. Yes, I do know there are a few exceptions. There are a lot of people out here that are very evil. They don't care about anything. There are even a lot of people out there that they actually know that they don't want to be with anybody. They don't want to be controlled. They don't want to be held accountable for anything, or they don't want to be giving explanation to anybody about how they live their life, about what time they come home, about how they spend their money. They clearly do know that, but because they're in Africa, and most times this happens with women, because in Africa, women don't really have that much right. The power is in the men's hands. So a lot of women, they clearly know that they don't even want to be bothered with marriage. They don't want to get married. But at a certain age in Africa, we are taught that you, the woman, yes, you go to school, but when you graduate about 24 years old, you should find somebody to get married to, settle down, start having kids, and take care of your family. And the man is taught that, okay, you go to school, and at about 26 years old, you marry, and find a woman that start creating for you and everything, and you go and work and take care of your family. Basically, in Africa, marriage is what defines you. Marriage is what makes you look responsible, what makes you look good in society. So a lot of people, whether they are interested in marriage, they don't want to have children, they don't want to be bothered by somebody about how they live their life, they are forced to get into marriage. Because like I said, without marriage in Africa, you have no identity. Nobody is going to respect you. So a lot of people find themselves going against what they believe in just to please the society and just to make things work out for them in society. So for me, most times, when I see couples that got married back home, that have never been abroad, and all of a sudden they decide to relocate and they were given the visa to finally relocate. When they finally get here, they get to separate. I'm just like, okay, let me say if you have been married for like 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, we can say, okay, maybe they were not compatible. Maybe one of the persons involved in the relationship was not honest, and that is why they got to separate. But when I see a couple that has been together for 10 years plus, and all of a sudden, you come abroad and you separate, and people will be like, but they were happy back home. What happened? No, they were not happy. Somebody in that marriage was suffocating. Somebody in that marriage had no say and was taking everything in. And like I said, because in Africa, our families and society worship marriage. Once you are married, no matter what your husband or your wife does to you, you cannot leave the marriage because they'll tell you you are bringing shame to the family. So a lot of people, they are in very unhealthy marriages. They are in marriages where they are violent with them, they have no say, where they abuse them physically, sexually, they do all sorts of things to them, but they can't go anywhere because if they leave, they'll say you brought shame on the family, or sometimes if they leave, they'll have nowhere to go from there. So that is why you might think those people are happy. No, they are not happy. A lot of people, they know they have no choice. So they just find a way to survive. Why do you think you have a lot of people that they're in a marriage, after a few years, start getting sick and everything? Because on the inside, they know they are not happy. They are suffocating. They are going through a lot. And whatever they are going through now, it manifests into sickness. That's why a lot of people, you see them back home that are not happy in their marriages. And like I said, they are suffocating. So when they get to realize that, okay, this marriage, I'm not compatible with this person. I don't really like this person, but right now it's too late. We already have 2 kids, we already have 4 kids. Now they find a way to survive on an everyday basis. Maybe now they try to console themselves by going out all the time with friends, by always going to visit their family members, by trying to avoid being home all the time. Yes, they do what they're supposed to do to please their partner, but they try to avoid their partner to the max. And that's how they spend years upon years upon years upon years surviving. But it's not because they want to, It's just because they have no choice. So now, because you never know. You get married to somebody today, you don't know the future. So some people, they got married. They never even knew that one day they have the opportunity to go abroad. Like I said, they'll be doing the managing thing until an opportunity comes in. And the partner comes and like, you know what, babe, how about we relocate? Do you think the person that has been suffocating in our marriage is not going to enjoy that opportunity? The person is going to behave, because even I myself, if I'm married to somebody, like I said, that I'm not happy with, the person has not been treating me well, the person has been deceitful, the person has been cheating on me all the time, the person has been violent, the person has been letting their family bully me, because we all know Africa. You get married to somebody now, you are not only receiving trauma from that person, the trauma that you're receiving from that person is not enough. You have their whole family to traumatizing you. So some people, they just, like I said, they taking. And when you come with the opportunity of relocating, who is going to say no to relocating? Do you know what it means to relocate from Africa to this side of the world? My brother, my sister, that is the best thing that can ever happen to anyone. So when you get the opportunity to exit that continent, I don't know who's going to say no. And I myself, if I'm not in a good marriage, and you come and tell me that, baby, let's relocate. My dear, I am going to be on my best behavior until I make sure that I have entered that plane. When we land and I see that they stamp my passport in the Canadian airport to say, welcome to Canada as a permanent resident and everything. If you have not been nice to me, right there, this is my white eyes that you're seeing, is going to rotate into demon, into devil. Because you have been treating me badly back home. That's why a lot of marriages do break up when they come over here. One person in that marriage, like I said, has been suffocating. So when they come here, who doesn't like good things? When they come here, they see they have rights, freedom of expression and speech. For where? Africa, which freedom of expression and speech, especially for women? What are you expressing? What are you speaking? So when you come here, you get to see those things. You make use of it, because some of you men, you are very mean. Back home, you are very mean. Your woman doesn't have a say because you know you're the provider. You don't care. You just slap her anyhow. Pa, pa, pa. Your family comes over. They just go into her pot. They eat her food without asking her. When she tells you about it, she say, my friend, shut up. It's my family. Don't you know they make me? Your brothers come at home. They go and carry alcohol. They don't ask. Your mother comes and give headache. Your father comes and give headache. All your in-laws are just all over the woman and everything. The woman is just like this every day. Let me enjoy. Who is not going to come to Canada and dump your ass? I will dump your ass very well, and I'm going to do it squeaky and clean. I will dump your ass. Because who wants toxicity? Nobody wants toxicity. So like I said, a lot of marriages don't just break to break like that. Most times, if you have been married for more than 5 years plus, and you get to come abroad and that marriage fails instantly, they were hiding things. They were never happy, or one person was carrying a lot of burden for the couple in general. And the second reason why a lot of marriages fail as soon as they relocate abroad is this. There are a lot of men in Africa that are actually lazy. But the only thing is that, like I said, in Africa as a man, you have some expectations. So a lot of men, they feel pressure to do what they have to do. But it doesn't mean that because they got married, they are actually responsible. What I mean by that is this. Not every man in Africa is responsible. That is why we have a lot of single mothers nowadays. You have a lot of men that impregnate women. They don't care for the women. They never look for their children until 30 years after and everything, when they want to come and start making demands. A lot of men back home are lazy. And there are also a lot of men that they get married, and you will be thinking that they're the ones doing everything in their home. They are the man and everything. But you don't know that the woman is the one covering up for everything. There are some women that they are married. The whole time span of which they have been married, that whole time, every time, they are going to their mother and father to borrow money to pay school fees because their husband is irresponsible. Every time they borrow money from friends. And everybody, when they go out, everybody feel like, oh, he's a man, he's taking care of his family. When he's actually very, very irresponsible. There are a lot of women that they take care of everything. They work and they do have the assistance of their family to help them handle things, because maybe they have already gone to cry to their family countless amount of time, and the family already knows that, okay, this person is officially a useless person, so we'll take charge of things. So there are a lot of men back home that are lazy. So when a man is already like that back home, how do you think whatever marriage he's into is going to survive abroad? How? How do you think whatever marriage is into is going to survive over here? Because this side of the world is very stressful. Africa is very chill. Africa is so chill. Africa, they don't even encounter 20% of the amount of stress we get to go through here. The amount of money that you use to take care of your monthly needs back home, including even the rent for your home, and back home even they pay the rent yearly. But over here, the amount of money that you use for 1 month rent can take care for all your monthly expenses and more. And that's even like, let's say for a family of 4 or a family of 5. You'll be spending all that money just for 1 month rental for a 1-bedroom. So those kind of men that are wives have been doing everything for them and camouflaging everything. Now, when they land abroad now, automatically is going to enter panic mode. Back home, I could not even handle the bare minimum. What's going to happen right now? First of all, he's going to be like, over here, rent is monthly. There's nothing like yearly payment on the house. He's going to think about like, that's not the only thing I have to handle. I have to handle car insurance, phone bills, feed the family, electric bills, hydro bills. He's going to think about all those things and he's going to enter panic mode and he's going to go crazy. And on top of all that, he's going to realize that, when they're going to try to draw a map of how they're going to handle things, now he's going to realize that, me that was done with school. Because most men back home, like I said, let's say they are done school by 24, latest 26. Most of them, by the time they relocate, they have already had a good 9 to 5 for like the past 10 years. So they know for sure that they're done with school. A lazy man now, when he comes here, he's going to be like, I have to go back to school. And as I'm going back to school, I have to find a way to work so that I can pay the rent. Because back home, I'm used to be the man. I don't want my wife now to see me anyhow. I have to pay the rent. I have to feed them. He's going to think about all that. And he's going to be like, me, I don't want to go back to school anymore. I thought I was done with school 10 years ago. I don't want to go back to school anymore. So what's going to happen? That man is going to enter panic mode. And most times, those lazy men that are wives have been doing everything for them and they have been hiding behind their wives back home. Most times, what's going to happen is this. When they get to find out that, okay, this is all what I will have to do. Some of them, even, they will prefer to dump their wives. They will prefer to dump their family and go settle for maybe one Black American or one African that has been here for a couple of years, that has a good career already has a home, that has everything figured out. They will dump their own wife with kids and go and settle for that person. But they are doing that because, like I said, their wives are covering up for a lot back home. And now they are faced with the harsh realities of abroad, the harsh realities of Canada, and they cannot take it. So they have to look for somebody again to attach themselves to. So basically, they become gigolos. Some of them will be even willing to leave their wives and go and do daddy duties and play daddy role for other single women's children. Just because that woman, they go and say that she already has a car, she already has a house, her career is well set, she has everything going on well for herself. They'll prefer to go there. They'll abandon their children to go and play daddy duties somewhere else just because they want to have a free home, they want to have everything free. Or maybe if they are to better their lives by going back to school, they prefer to do that with that single mother that already has everything figured out because they know that, okay, over there, she's already used to paying her rent. She's already used to doing her own things. And they know for sure that, okay, as a single mother, she might be vulnerable. She will need a man so bad. As long as he's going to be nice to her, she's going to be willing to do everything and let him go to school in peace. While if he was with his original wife, he will have to cater for her, cater for the kids, go to school at the same time. So they want to avoid that stress. So the third reasons why a lot of couples separate as soon as they relocate to Canada or abroad in general is because, like I said, a lot of men back home, they thought they were done with education, they were done with school. So when they come over here, they get to realize that, oh boy, I have to go back to school. And they are not okay with it. So most times, the woman is going to be like, you know what, honey, let me go. Because a lot of women in Africa, even if they have gone to school, a lot of them, even if they work, they don't really work a lot of days like that, or some of them are unemployed. So by the time they get to come to Canada or they get to relocate abroad, they have too much energy to discharge. So when they are given the opportunity to go to school, they're like, let me go to school. So some men now, because they clearly know that, I don't want to go back to school, they'll be like, okay, honey, you go. I'm going to stay behind. I'm going to find jobs to do to be able to take care of things while you go to school. So most men, they're either Uber drivers, security guards, or cleaners. Especially for those men that had no other skills. That is what they end up doing. Some men, if they're asking in photography, they'll find a way to start doing photography. Some men, if they were DJs back home for side hustle, they find a way to become DJs. But most times, when couples newly migrate abroad, what they do is that one person does a whole bunch of menial jobs, take up the bills, while the other one goes to school. But what gets to happen is this. When the woman now goes to school, the man now starts getting insecure and dealing with inferiority complex. The same way that his wife used to be talking to him before, or used to be exchanging with him now, selling things down, he's going to be saying, oh, she's disrespecting me. Oh, she's becoming rude just because she's making money now. Just because she just entered school. She's speaking grammar for me. Look at this stupid girl. I made her. I made you. And all these kind of things. Now things go crazy. And I do know that, yes, there are a lot of women that when they start making money, they go crazy. But there are some men, African men in general. Sometimes even you make the plan with them. They're going to be like, yes, baby. Yes, yes. You convince them. You tell them that, baby, I'm never going to disappoint you. Don't worry. All I want to do is I want to go to school and do this for us since you're not okay to go back to school. Most African men, no matter how you convince them, no matter how you talk to them and everything, they just have this huge ego. So the woman now is going to go to school and do everything that she has to do. And now, like I said, any little thing that she's going to do after that now is going to be an issue. She's treating me like this because now she's paying the rent. Over the years, a woman will not keep listening to that nagging and nagging. And some women, they get tired. They're like, you know what, this person, like, we're supposed to be partners. You're supposed to be happy for me. If there's something that you cannot do, that I can do, you should be happy for me. Education is not for everybody. And some people, they only go to school once and they are done with school. So there are some women that clearly understand that. My husband went to school back home. He has a master's back home and everything. But he's not willing to go back to school. So I am willing. So let me now go and let him do what he can do on the side. There are even some men that they can be working menial jobs and the amount of money that they're making will still be equal to what their wives are making. But just because their wife went to university in Canada here or abroad in general, they're not going to be happy. They are always going to feel inferior. Every time they're going to be arguing and giving that woman a lot of headache. And nobody wants to be in that kind of marriage. So most times, that's one of the reasons why a lot of women, a few years after they come abroad, they do ask for divorce from their husbands because it's quite disturbing. You want to be happy in a marriage. You don't want to be in a marriage that anytime you embed yourself, there is trouble. Whether you agree or you don't agree to embed yourself together, there is trouble. Nobody wants to be in that kind of marriage. In the long run, it becomes toxic. So that's another reason why a lot of marriages break when they come to Canada or abroad in general. And number 4, a lot of men get carried away sexually when they come abroad. I don't know about you, but for me, people abroad, they look more sexually appealing. They look more appetizing. I don't know if it has to do with the sun or maybe with the environment in general, but people abroad look more sexually appealing. So a lot of African men back home, they are doing well in their marriages because that is all they know. And we all know that a lot of African women are not very, very sexual like that. Everything for them is a taboo. Everything for them is abomination. Now we are a married couple. According to God, you cannot be doing this thing. So all they know is just open, let me enter, missionary. All they know is impregnation. For them, as long as they're getting pregnant for the man, they're having a great sex life. No. A lot of men, because they don't know better, that is why they are okay with it back home. But as soon as they land abroad here, as soon as they land in Canada, even from the airport, when you're looking at the way some of these women's skin is glowing and so sexy, when you're looking at the way some of these men, the men here, they work out, they eat well. You'll be seeing your husband one big pot belly. You come out of the plane and you see one sexy guy passing with abs, tall, everything. Skin is glowing. Body is smelling good. No body odor. Fresh breath. Your woman is going to be like, what is going on here? Same thing for the man. He comes out of the plane. He sees one girl, one sultry lips. Better lip gloss. You know, nice wigs, clean hair, everything. Aesthetics on point, no dirtiness, nails on point, everything. You know, when you're abroad, you have a certain freshness. So when they get to see those things, women don't ask for divorce that much when it comes to all those things, because, you know, when you're a woman, you just say, you know what, for better and for worse, I love my husband, I respect myself and everything. I want to set a good example for my children. So most times, women, even if they do too much, is to cheat on you. If they are tired of you looking some type of way, They're going to cheat on you, and that's it. They'll cheat on you and they'll come back home and be doing what they have to do and keep pretending. But men have a harder time. When a man sees sweet honey like this, he's going to become a fruit fly. He's going to keep going and keep licking the honey and forget about his whole generation and forget about all the promises that he made you. He will not care anymore. So when an African man comes here and he gets to fall on a black American woman or one of these Caribbean ladies, because we all know that when you come abroad here, you meet all kinds of people. You meet Jamaicans, people from Trinidad, Dominican Republic, Brazil, all these Latinos. When one of those women get to climb on your husband's banana, the way they are going to knock the man, you know, understand what is happening. The man is going to be confused. The man is going to be like, look at the wonders of life. So this is what I've been missing. The man is going to get carried away. And nowadays, it's not even only about knocking the man properly. Apart from their waistline being very flexible, some of these women, hey, there are some things nowadays that they can use to go down on a man. You, when your husband tells you that go down on me, no, it's not the thing of God. And even when you do it, you're going to be doing some funny things. Ew, this is gross. Ew. That woman, that Latino woman or that black American woman, when she's going to hold your husband's banana and put it in her buccal cavity, the way she's going to suction and vacuum it, the man, forget that thing. Even if you have 5 kids, that man is going to get carried away. When he's going to come home, he's going to look at you. All you are doing in the house is, honey, hey, I made gari for you today and okra stew. Therefore, he's going to come. You are tying one wrapper. You are the one that doesn't know what tongue is. You are the one that doesn't know how to put stars on your nipple. You are the one that doesn't know how to twerk for him. Every time you have to do something, your own is just open, enter, finish. You are snoring, not taking initiatives, nothing. When a man from Africa comes here, like I said, they are only managing what they are managing back home because that is all they know. When they get to come here and one of those girls from those places climb on the tree, you are going to know what's up. There are some kind of things that they will do to you. No matter what the Bible says, you're going to forget about God for a second. You're going to be like, God, please, I know this thing is a sin, but I'm ready to sin. We'll talk about it later on. So that is how some of them, they go to the point of abandoning you, because who doesn't like enjoyment? Especially for those men that, for them, everything is sex. Men get married for different reasons. There's some men that get married to you. As long as you are intelligent, you are intellectual, they are very okay with you. You don't even have to know how to have sex. You don't even have to know how to cook for them. That's a turn on. There are some men that they only get married to you for their stomach. They like good food. As long as you can cook, you don't know how to do anything else, they are going to be okay with you. They're always going to be managing you. Or maybe once in a while, they will go and cheat on you. There are also some men that everything about them is sex. Everything. You can be a good cook, you can be intelligent, everything. But if you don't know how to turn their head in bed, see, they are going to leave you. If they find that woman that can do it, they are going to leave you and abandon you with all their children. From both sides, it's too intense and it's very violent. So most times, that is what happens. So those are some of the reasons that I have for you as to why a lot of marriages ordained back in Africa instantly fail when they come abroad or in Canada. Let me know down below if you think there are other reasons why you think a lot of marriages fail. Share with me, because I can't know everything. These are some of the reasons why I think marriages fail as soon as they come from Africa. You might have other reasons why they do fail. Please share with me down below to help educate me. All right, bye.